Welcome back, Defenders. This is my war map. This is what I'm checking every day now. Ukrainian strikes disrupt around 17% of Russia's oil refining capacity, according to Reuters. Ukrainian strikes on 10 Russian oil refineries have disrupted at least 17% of the country's refining capacity, equivalent to 1.1 million barrels per day. Ukraine's really only been doing this for a month. They were striking depots and refineries in the first 3 months of the year, but I'm guessing the Trump administration told them to stop so that we could have peace talks. But the Russians don't actually want peace talks, so this is the game plan. And 17% is great, but do you know what is greater? 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%. Why not? Russia deserves it. Here's a video showing the Novoshatinsk oil refinery on fire for the 5th day. This is what the fire looked like on day 5. And Russia was able to put it out. This is the video showing the area that was on fire, and basically it just ran out of fuel. I don't think the firefighters were very effective. And there is a surprising video that Russia released. This is like a GoPro video showing the firefighters at this refinery trying to put the fire out. I'll link it down below if you want to check it out, but there's nothing too revealing here. This is the area of the depot that was on fire, and this is what burned for 4 or 5 days. And yes, this is devastating for this facility, and it's going to take them time to repair it. Ukrainian drones smash and torch Russia's main natural gas export facility. This is the Ust-Laga export terminal near St. Petersburg. And here is an analysis showing what the damage is. Analysis of the economic impact of the attack on the Ust-Luga port. The Novatek terminal was hit. The unit damaged was the cryogenic fractionation of gas condensate, the most expensive part of the plant. The Novatek plant processed 7 million tons of stable gas condensate per year and produced the following volumes of naphtha, fuel oil, gas oil, and aviation kerosene. The market value of this product is $4.4 billion. Thus, each day that this plant is down, it's costing the Russians $12 million a day. About $400 million a month. $12 million a day just for this one terminal near St. Petersburg. This is devastating. And there are gas shortages. Far East Russia's Kuril Islands runs out of gas. I've seen the gas shortages in parts of Siberia, the Far East, and even Crimea. But there's not been any gas shortages in the core territories of Rostov-on-Don or Moscow or St. Petersburg. But this is how empires operate. If there's scarcity or shortages, then the people at the far flungs of the empire get screwed. They're the ones who get cut off first. But as Russia's refining capacity continues to decline, eventually, yeah, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 4 months from now, there will be gas shortages in the core territories. Eventually, we're going to see gas lines, potentially, in St. Petersburg or Moscow. The main story for today's video, I want to focus on the city of Kherson. Kherson has been under human safari for over a year now. The Russians are indiscriminately hunting with drones anything and anyone that moves. They are not distinguishing between military and civilian. They are trying to kill anyone alive in this city. And this is a heartbreaking video. This is really difficult to watch. I'm going to link this down below, but this is an elderly man and his dog walking down the street, and this FPV video is from a Russian. The Russians proudly did this, filmed this, and then uploaded online. It's a drone drop, and the dog is injured and the elderly man is injured. As soon as the old man is struck, he knows what's happening, and he's trying to get to safety, but his dog is injured. His dog is bleeding. And he's trying to save his pet's life. Dogs have to go outside to use the bathroom, and that's when the Russians choose to hunt them. These people are monsters. Zarina Zabriskie, she was in the United States for a little bit. She's a friend of the channel, and she's now returned to the city of Kherson. I want to share her latest report from the city.
As the city is being turned into the pile of rubble, the only road leading to the rest of Ukraine is being cut off by the Russian FPV drones. I'm currently on a bus from Odessa to Kherson. The situation on the road is so bad that a friend of mine who owns a drone detector will be meeting me by the entrance to the Kherson region.
Вот если мы сейчас заезжаем и там нету никакой машины, но у него садится аккумулятор, мы будем приоритетная цель. Если рядом стоит эта машина, едет эта машина, то она будет более приоритетнее. Вот эти машины грузовые, в первую очередь. Те дроны, которые не долетают, они падают в полях, взрываются, и поля горят. Оно горит из-за того, что дрон поджег. Все горит. Это Ховер. У него частоты сканируют, и он перехватывает видеосигнал, который видит пилот. То есть я вижу его глазами. Соответственно, если я увидел свою дорогу, машину, то я принимаю действия к тому, чтобы меня не поразить. Где скорость, где спрятаться под деревом.
And here's another drone detector, it's a smaller one. It's a drone tunnel.
Рыбацкие сети очень эффективно работают. По идее, мы должны были ехать сейчас вот так, не меньше. Но из-за того, что у нас приборы, мы прекрасно понимаем где они. Единственный прибор не видит только один тип дрона. Это штурм. Это на оптоволокне дрон, который присаживается на дороге. Когда он видит приоритетную цель, он резко взлетает и поражает машину. И вот начались уже дроны, но недалеко по приборам. Машина, которая еще пока не устала. Сегодня дроном была уничтожена. Вдоль дорог лежит много запчастей. Это все запчасти от пораженных машин.
The Russians are using fiber optic FPV drones to attack any car going between Mykolaiv and Kherson. Anyone trying to visit the city of Kherson or leave the city of Kherson, the Russians are trying to kill. If you want to support Zarina's important work, she does have a YouTube channel. If you want to help her get to 1,000 subscribers, she would greatly appreciate that. I'll put the link down below if you want to subscribe to her channel. And this is a feel-good story. Kherson's former mayor freed from Russian captivity on Independence Day, while the current mayor of Kherson is still in Russian captivity. This is the before and after picture. This is Vladimir Mykolenko, and he's the former mayor of Kherson. He wasn't even the current one. And the Russians picked him up in the city and tried to force him to film propaganda videos. He refused, so the Russians just sent him to a prison camp. He was not in the military. He was not a soldier. He was a civilian. And the Russians still imprisoned him for over 3 years. So the 65-year-old man was held illegally by Russia for more than 3 years. Under the Geneva Conventions, he was a civilian and should not have been detained. But the Russians don't care about international law. And thankfully, he survived captivity and he was released. This is the message he wants to share with people. Good afternoon, Ukraine. Happy Independence Day. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. You know, today I want to thank everyone who was involved in the process of freeing these guys, who for the first time in the last 3.5 years have stepped onto Ukrainian soil, who have seen this greenery, these blooming trees for the first time. In recent years, apart from bars and concrete, I had seen nothing else. That's why I'm grateful for this gift. I always wondered what date would become my second birthday, and it turned out beautifully that my second birthday is August 24th. And tomorrow, by the way, is my mother's birthday. Mom, I love you so very much. She will be 91 years old. That's the most important thing, is that we are free. Kherson, Ukraine are standing strong. We are proud. Nobody is coming to save Kherson. Kherson and the Ukrainian people have to find a way to save themselves, find a way to defeat Russia. Defense Express official video allegedly reveals first ever public look at Ukraine's secretive 1,000-kilometer Neptune missile. Here's a picture. Ukraine wanted to share it. They already gave us the demo videos for the Flamingo cruise missile, but this is the long Neptune, a range-enhanced variant of the Neptune anti-ship cruise missile. And it's in production. Coming soon. Stay tuned. Zelensky presents combat-tested weapons to EU partners in Kyiv's Shelter Defense Forum. This was part of the Canadian Prime Minister's visit, but Zelensky shared this video. This is, I'm assuming, underground at some kind of display area for Ukraine's weapons and tech. But the Prime Minister of Canada was allowed to go down there and tour the facility with President Zelensky.
Now 10,000 per month.
ISR purposes to look what is on the enemy side by feet.
System and it can work fully automatic.
This device is combat UGV. It's only for combat mission.
You know, the region that suffers a lot from the strikes. And here we have two examples. We increased our production 30 times since full-scale invasion started.
If you want to fit.
I need to get this. So on the, just very quickly, right?
Commander, because it is a huge race,
Yeah.
you know, and we need to keep the pace.
Without question.
Дякую вам дуже.
Now we have.
It's insane how much warfare has changed in the last 4 years, but Ukraine is leading the way. They are inventing new technology that the rest of the world is going to want once this war is over. And concerning the Russians, Russian soldiers shoot themselves and each other for compensation. This is a story in the Times, but this is real. Russian elite soldiers shoot each other for cash. Dozens of paratroopers from the 83rd Assault Brigade shot themselves or each other in the arms and legs to fake combat wounds. Each soldier then claimed 3 million rubles, or about 34,000 US dollars. Together they drained 200 million rubles from the state budget. The ringleaders of this operation were Lieutenant Colonel Konstantin Frolov, call sign Executioner, and Colonel Artyom Gorodilov. They told comrades where to aim, avoiding vital organs, then filed the injuries as battle wounds. They both now face large-scale fraud charges. Some of the self-shooters won state medals, including the Order of Courage, for wounds they inflicted on themselves. Frolov starred in Defense Ministry videos as a sniper ace and even claimed to adopt a girl saved from shelling, stories that were all made up. The U.S. has already sanctioned Gordilov for commanding forces responsible for the Bucha massacre. Frolov faces additional charges of bribery and illegal weapons possession. Both of these commanders begged to be returned to combat rather than face trial and go to jail, but their request was denied by the Russian Ministry of Defense. Russian elite soldiers shoot themselves to avoid going into combat. Here's a headline. From 53% to 68%, Ukrainian becomes dominant language as war reshapes identity. Russian language use has collapsed in just 3 years, as Moscow's protection campaign triggers the fastest cultural transformation in modern European history. Here's a chart showing what is your primary language you use day to day in Ukraine. And prior to Russia's full-scale invasion, 53% to 46%. It was almost 50-50. Do you primarily speak Russian or do you primarily speak Ukrainian? And then Russia invaded Ukraine and destroyed all the Russian-speaking cities. Mariupol was a Russian-speaking city. Bakhmut was a Russian-speaking city. And Russia destroyed these cities and killed all these people. So it's understandable that the people of Ukraine don't want to be speaking Russian day to day. So this use of Ukrainian has gone up to 68%, Russian is down to 30%, and this is only going to shrink. Over the next decade, 2 decades, Ukrainian is the official language of Ukraine. Russia has lost any claim or rights to this territory or these people. The Ukrainian people want nothing to do with Russia, and they're done with their language, their culture, their history. The divorce is going to be permanent. Zelensky calls for Putin talks as peace efforts stall. This was the entire purpose of Putin coming to Alaska, This summit between Trump and Putin was to get a meeting. Zelensky wants a face-to-face meeting, but Putin isn't willing to do it. What is Trump's response? Putin avoids meeting with Zelensky because he doesn't like him. That's all Trump has to say. Well, Putin doesn't like Zelensky and he doesn't want to meet him. This is embarrassing, guys. And it's embarrassing for everybody in the democratic world. Trump every day is just going to say stupid thing after stupid thing, and the stupid thing of the day is he said people are now calling him the president of Europe.
Where they respect your president to a level that they jokingly call me the president of Europe. They call me the president of Europe, which is an honor. I like Europe and I like those people. They're good people. They're great leaders. And we've never had a case where 7 plus really 28.
Nobody is referring to him as the president of Europe. This man is delusional. He has lost his mind. Here are thoughts from Tataragami. He's a former Ukrainian officer. My feed is flooded again with Trump's remarks on the war. What he said, what he promised, another week, 2 weeks, a month. These words are worth less than a penny. Mere hot air. What truly matters are the enormous efforts of the Ukrainian army to stall Russia's offensive. These pictures coming out of the White House are insane. There is something obviously wrong with Donald Trump, both mentally, but now physically. He has rapidly aged in just the 8 months that he's been president. You can go back in time and look at a video of him from a year ago, and he looks significantly younger and sharper. Being president and having a full schedule every day, the stress of the job, everybody wanting something from you, it ages you. And he's already 79 years old. So Trump has been putting makeup on his hand to cover this bruise, and I guess he decided he didn't want to put makeup on it anymore, so he's not covering it up. But he doesn't look healthy. He doesn't sound healthy. Nobody in the press is asking him, what's wrong with your hand? There are theories, there are speculation, people with more medical knowledge than me are weighing in, saying that potentially he's getting IV drugs and the bruising is a response to getting an IV. He could be on blood thinners to deal with heart complications, but none of this is public information. The White House is not telling anyone anything. Officially, he has been diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency. President Trump was recently diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency, bringing attention to a condition that is common for older Americans. While unpleasant, it is not life-threatening. These are President Trump's shoes. His ankles have swollen to the size of tree trunks, and he barely fits in normal size shoes anymore. So my prediction, guys, is Trump is not going to be alive past the 2026 midterms. He might hold on for another year, but his health is rapidly fading, and I don't think physically he's going to make it to 2027. That's my prediction. So we have to get used to the idea. I've already mentally accepted this, that J.D. Vance is going to become president of the United States prior to 2028. Vance cites significant concessions by Russia on Ukraine. The good news about J.D. Vance is nobody likes him. Donald Trump doesn't even like J.D. Vance. The only reason why he was picked to be vice president is because Elon Musk wanted him, and Elon Musk was only willing to spend $300 million of his own money helping Trump win if Trump picked this guy. But nobody likes him. He's a loser. And this came out of The Guardian. Apparently, after Zelensky was thrown out of the White House in February, that disastrous meeting earlier this year, J.D. Vance called General Zaluzhnyi, who is the ambassador to the United Kingdom, and wanted to talk about a potential coup. Is there a way that we can remove Zelensky and put you in charge? And General Zaluzhnyi did not take the call, didn't want to talk to him, and he immediately called Zelensky to tell him what Vance was trying to do. This is insane. The United States this year attempted a coup in Ukraine to install a more favorable president. And this barely makes the headlines, guys. People are barely even acknowledging this, that my vice president is trying to overthrow democratically elected leaders in other countries. This is where we are. And he says stupid stuff. Trump says stupid stuff as well, but Trump for some reason gets a pass, but this guy should know better. This is the dumb thing he said in the last 2 days.
I want to get to security guarantees, but very quickly, if Russia is allowed to keep any of the territory that it illegally seized, what message does that send to China? Does it give China a green light to invade Taiwan? Does it give Russia a green light to invade other European countries, which is what your European allies are concerned about?
Well, first of all, the Ukrainians are going to ultimately make the determination about where you draw the territorial lines in their own country. But, Kristen, this is how wars ultimately get settled. If you go back to World War II, if you go back to World War I, if you go back to every major conflict in human history, they all end with some kind of negotiation. We're actually not active parties in the negotiation.
If you go back to World War II, every major conflict in human history ends with some kind of negotiation? What? So the Casablanca Conference between Churchill and Roosevelt in 1943, they made the decision not to talk to Hitler. Under no circumstances would they negotiate with the Nazis and allow Hitler to stay in power, or for the Germans to keep any of the territory they took by force. In 1943, they made the decision, we're going to destroy these guys. We are going to fight to the end. And it worked. Hitler committed suicide. Germany surrendered unconditionally. That's not a negotiation. That is telling a dictator who invaded his neighbors, you're going to be punished. You're going to be punished so bad, you're going to kill yourself. And then there's Japan, Tojo. Nobody negotiated with the Prime Minister of Japan. We nuked Japan to force them to unconditionally surrender, and there was no negotiation. They had no say. They weren't allowed to keep any of the territory they took by force, leading up to us nuking them. So J.D. Vance is an idiot. And yeah, he's going to keep saying stupid things. I am concerned about the effect that Elon Musk and people like Peter Thiel have on him. So when he becomes president, he might be more difficult to manipulate from European leaders, from the allies, from Ukraine. We'll deal with it when we get there, guys. It's a crazy world. Strap in. But let's get to the good news for Ukraine. We've got some good stuff. EU sends $4.7 billion to Ukraine on their Independence Day. This is part of 2 separate tranches in promised EU aid, but it was delivered. Fantastic. The United Kingdom extends a training program, Operation Interflex. This has been training Ukrainian soldiers in the UK since 2022. It's a 5-week basic course and then a 7-week program, but thank you so much, the UK. This is vital training. Germany to spend $9 billion annually to support Ukraine. This is according to their finance minister. Fantastic. Thank you so much to the Germans. Canada to allocate $500 million to purchase U.S. weapons for Ukraine. This is the new program where there's a needs list and then money can be allocated. The United States will then sell it and it'll be delivered to Ukraine. Norway and Germany to finance 2 American Patriot air defense systems for Ukraine. Thank you so much, Norway and Germany. Final clip, yesterday or 2 days ago was Ukraine's Independence Day, and for the residents of the city of Kherson, they can't go outside to celebrate because Russian drones are hunting every man, woman, and child. So they decided to sing their national anthem in a grocery store. They have to stay inside.
Запануємо ми, браття, у своїй крило ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду. Слава Україні! Героям слава! Слави нашу славну Україну! Гей, гей!
That's all for this update video. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. If you found this video informative, give me a thumbs up. Best way to support the channel. Comments and questions, let me know down below. I love hearing from you guys. Till the next video, keep defending the truth, keep defending democracy.